Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Artem, and we have Lorena Creole with us today. How are you, Lorena?
I am doing great. I'm doing wonderful. And I'm so excited to get back to watching The Crown with you. I'm loving this show so much.
It's really been amazing. I have to say, I didn't. We knew it was going to be about Diana, but it had escaped my mind that Dodi and the Al Fayeds were obviously important figures in her life, especially in the last few moments of her life.
Exactly. Exactly. I it was just so cool after we watched that, kind of like pulling up some of the images that we totally have forgotten existed of like the interaction between Fayeds and the royal family, or and most notably with Diana. Like I didn't know that the elder Fayed had actually met Diana first. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens next now that we learned about his backstory and kind of like what brought Dodi Al Fayed onto the stage. So can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too. And for everybody watching, we are doing a watch party for season 5 of The Crown episodes 4 through 7. And if you missed it, we did already upload a video for episodes 1 through 3. So please do check that out. I saw some of you checking it
Yes.
out earlier today.
Hmm.
Thank you for doing that. We are continuing. You guys said you enjoyed seeing us. Well, here we are doing this watch party of The Crown. We're on episode 4. Lorena, are you cued?
I am cute. I am cute and ready to go.
Okay, so I'm going to be. I see the letter N on my screen, guys. We are starting. The episode is 52 minutes or something like that. I'm
Hmm.
pressing and it's got the N is floating away, and it says Annus Horribilis. Yes, Annus Horribilis. You remember that year?
Do I? The
It's when she said,
horrible.
"This is being an Annus Horribilis." Do you remember that
How
scene?
do I not remember that?
Oh no! Look at her. She's tearful.
Now, why is that?
Mm. She looks very upset. She's drying her eyes and hmm.
Hmm. Man, that room is pimped out.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Margaret's still smoking.
She always has a cigarette in one hand and a drink in the other, right?
Hmm. Oh, so this was at the end of. Okay, yeah, now I remember.
Ah, there's the drink. Her brandy glass.
Hmm. All nice and ready. Because before this, people had a certain, I guess, well, carefully curated image of the royal family. And for that year, when just like the marriages were falling apart and just the dirt was getting thrown, we're just like, wow, these people are really messed up.
It is. It went from Diana and Charles may be having problems. It went from that to reports
Mm.
that were like the Queen called her a bitch, and Diana said she wished she could fall out of a tree. Like
It was just like, dang, they said, what now? Oh my God.
yeah.
It was like something out of like Jerry Springer. I would say and I think that was when Inside Edition was like constantly putting out pieces about turmoil in the royal family. I mean, it was
And
nuts.
Annus horribilis.
And it's hard to be, man, they went for the Latin on that one.
So here she is. Oh, and these aerial shots are beautiful as well.
I love these aerial shots. I love these. Whoever's piloting these drones for these shots, they're doing an awesome job.
Hmm. Yeah, this is. Oh, look at that. It's like you're slowly, slowly floating down,
Hmm.
and
Into
yes,
right here. Her Royal Highness.
yes, literally the Royal Mail.
Hmm. BBC.
Yeah.
BBC Radio. Honey. About what? Which drink she was going to have?
She's not actually getting up. Like she
She's
hasn't
like,
moved yet.
whatever. She's like, whatever. I got tea with lemon. The dog's like, please do not barf up your lung on me.
Oh wow.
Isn't this Swan? Oh shoot. Is it
Swan Lake, yeah.
Swan Lake? Okay. Okay. All right. I haven't totally forgotten my classics. Go ahead, girl. Beat that face. Beat that face. Beat it. She's like, I need to look well coiffed. There we go.
She does look great.
There I go. Perfect. Well, fix that. For the orchestra. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's none of your business. None of your business. Hmm. I
Right.
took piano for, oh my gosh, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, my mother's like, "It give you some culture." So wanted a piano. She's like, "Well, you're gonna have to take lessons." I'm like, "Gosh, really?" Ugh. I liked it and loathed it, kind of like at the same time. Is that her ex,
Probably
Mark?
one of her ex-husbands, probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
And that's Timothy Dalton, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, he still looks good.
I know, right? Hmm.
Well, I don't really remember her being on her own. She would always have kind of an entourage, didn't she?
She would, yes, she would have an entourage around her, an entourage of sycophants. She would always have some young man hanging around as like her boy toy. She was never really like her own company would bother her.
Hmm.
She didn't like being by herself.
That's why I'm a little perplexed to see her kind of on her own like that. I'm like, I don't think so.
Hmm.
But that's okay. They're set. They must be setting up something.
Yeah, see, he's singing the same tune. Dear Margaret. I bet you that's exactly
I
his one,
love
right?
that. I love that you did that.
And my BBC accent. I told you.
I certainly do.
She's like, oh, what's this? Peter.
Ooh,
Hmm.
ooh,
Well, all the way from France. Okay.
ooh. I wonder what he's been up to these days.
Hmm. Oh, so he couldn't say Paris. He had to say Ile de France.
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know this happened again.
What?
Peter Townsend is the guy she couldn't marry.
Wow. Oh, love. Of course. She waited for this dude for like 2 years.
Hmm.
And you told me I couldn't marry him.
Equerry. That's that word that you and I were.
Hmm.
Equerry is
I
equerry.
think that's the fancy word for the whoever works with the horses.
Nice.
Hmm. Man, she's just oh. She's trying to let you know why are you chasing a married man? Why is he reaching out to you? Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Of course. Yeah, really. You're going to stop her from going this time too?
Hmm. It's a new day, honey.
She's going to get some, more or less.
It's a new day. Now that must be Andrew. You see the pictures of Fergie and their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie.
Yes. I wonder if they're going to talk about that other thing that happened to Andrew. And I think you know what I mean. Maybe in the next season, but his excursions, if you will.
Oh yes, those.
Now, he's her favorite, right?
Actually, Charles is her favorite.
Okay.
Andrew is her husband's favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about yesterday, Lorena.
Hmm. Or so you think. Photographs. Oh, I remember the
With
pictures. I
no,
think it was of her butt.
yeah, it was the topless toe pictures, or
Yes, I remember that. Oh my gosh. Dude, you're so stiff. No what not I'm not excusing it, but
he's actually a little. He's got a little wild side to him with his friends. He actually does have a bit of a wild side, so maybe they were actually very well matched in that regard. I don't know.
they might have been too much alike, maybe.
Hmm.
'Cause I was actually surprised that they split up
Yeah, me too.
because they really just it seemed like a true like love match with Charles and Diana. It was kind of it I kind of had a hard time believing they were actually in love with each other because of how the way they behaved. It was kind of stiff, but with Andrew and Fergie, they were like all over each other. I thought it was great.
They were like real newlyweds, and you could tell they loved each other.
Mhm. Yeah, she was.
Buckets. He's getting excited just even talking about it.
And that's why he liked her because she was different and they didn't really like different.
Yeah. I thought he was going to say more common.
Hmm. Yeah, they kind of want you to all be good Stepford wives or clones in a way. Back when people would write letters like this. Girl, stop lying. Stop lying. You know that was a joke. I'm sorry. I keep hearing Helena Bonham Carter.
Well, yeah, she was. Was she in this one? She
Yeah,
was.
Helena Bonham Carter was
She played
she
Margaret, I
played
think.
her younger, like she played her like middle-aged Margaret,
Yeah.
which I loved. Hmm. Hello.
That part when, of course it was put in, and I don't even know if it's true, but she talks about Imelda Marcos and her shell collection. She says, "Are you sure you did
Mhm.
shoes?"
Yes.
No, shells. I have to show you
Yes.
my shell collection. Ooh, it's
Well,
Timothy Dalton.
still looks quite good.
Hmm.
Like, hey, girl. I
He's got that Ricardo Montalban look.
like this.
Mhm.
Ooh, I wonder how much that ruby necklace would be.
It does look amazing.
Hmm. Well, then it's perfect. Yes. Well, how can I say no? And they haven't seen each other. Oh, was it 40 years?
It's been a while.
Wow. I wonder if this actually happened.
Me too.
Because it seems a little too convenient. Not to say that it couldn't happen, but hmm. Timothy Dalton, he was not my favorite Bond, but he was okay.
Hmm. He was easy on the eyes.
Yeah, you got that right. It's like, oh, and talking.
Oh, she's doing her limericks again and her dancing and charming everybody in the room.
Mm-hmm. Meet again. Hmm. Ah, really? Hmm. Really?
What?
Hmm.
What? He's returning the letters?
Hmm.
Is he unwell?
It's possible. I remember these pictures. Fergie.
She was topless and he was sucking her toes.
Mm-hmm.
Just pure bliss.
I forget where they were. Were they like, I forget where they were when that
Probably
picture was
Greece
taken.
somewhere or something like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
She gets married a few times, doesn't she, Princess Anne?
I think she does.
Oh, they're living together. What? You're going to get married?
Ooh. Mm.
At her age, she don't need to wait.
Mm-mm.
She's got to be 50. That's a 50-year-old woman. She's no reason to wait.
Mm.
Good for you.
Mm. Mm. And that's the end of that.
See you, Mom. I was talking to my mother about the way Princess Anne dresses, and she
Hmm.
was saying, well, she dressed like the modern woman at that time. Kind of sportswear, pants a lot. And, the way that she carried herself, she was like the modern woman. So people kind of looked at her like that. I didn't know how she was perceived, because I was just like, we were just children when she was,
Yeah.
so, or even alive. I don't even think we were alive, let's say, when she was younger.
I
And
don't, yeah, I don't think so. Cause I'm like, who's that chick? I mean, I knew who Charles was, but I was like, I didn't know who Princess Anne was. For some reason, I knew who Princess Margaret was.
is someone coming over?
Oh my. Maybe. Hmm.
I hope she's going to be careful on that. Okay, she is. She's looking at old love letters. Dear Peter, I think it's so cruel that we have to be away for so long.
I love how you did that.
Thank you. Mm. Oh, those nice long rides. Those
Hmm.
get to get.
Kindness in Balmoral.
Mhm.
Well, hmm, reckless
Mhm.
and magnificent.
Aw. It's almost heartbreaking.
To know that it was that much time away. Sure did. And then remember this letter. Hmm. And that broke her heart. And we felt that too. The queen does indeed love her horses. We ain't having that.
It wasn't vindictive.
No, it was in her own words, but Charles didn't like those words.
Mm-hmm. She's not trying to blow anything up. She just doesn't want you cheating on her.
Yeah, running around with Camilla.
You didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that toe sucking thing. Mm.
The royal family's children in care.
Yeah. So basically, they'd be in foster care.
Oh, is that the archbishop or something she's talking to?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, sorry, Father.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work out that way. So she's praying that the couple stay together.
Yeah, like please don't embarrass me, yo. I need you to stay together. I need you to stay together.
Oh, yes, and then her house catches fire.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not a small fire.
Was
It's
this
like
when she lost like so many priceless pieces of like artwork and stuff like that? It was crazy.
it was crazy. I remember seeing people walk things out of the castle, and they had like a very, very long, I guess, rug. And I said, "Oh, it can't be that big of a rug." So they're like walking and walking, walking. It's like a block's long. Like this rug was the longest rug you've ever seen in your life, and it was rolled up. Like it was
Oh
really.
my gosh.
I was like, okay, it's not anything you can just simply pull out super easy. And
It's It was just heartbreaking with how much stuff was there
Mhm.
and priceless artifacts that were lost.
And this was the castle that she liked, of all the places, this was, like, her favorite castle.
Mhm.
Ooh, oh. Ouch.
So heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah, that looks terrible. They did a good job, like, on the make
Mhm.
like that. That looks like
With
a
everything smoking.
spirally, columns. That looks expensive,
Mhm.
like,
The way that those carvings are made, especially out of the type of like the type of wood, that's like a special like special craftsmanship to have that done. Oh Lord. Oh, okay. Whoo! Don't tell me you lost the Rembrandt.
wow, that's a lot of rooms.
Mhm.
They're seeing each other.
Mhm. It's a different world for them now. Stuff. Like stuff. I like this look with the two of them after like 40 years. They're back together.
It's like they never left.
Mm-hmm. Picked up right where they left off.
Oh, why?
Oh, I just want to kiss you right now. That's insane. See?
You called it. Oh my god.
See? Y'all are in here. Y'all just right in the side of my head.
This
I
is too
love
good.
it. And just look at her. She's just like, uh, we're waiting for that. So waiting for that. Oh my gosh.
I love when they started to talk about the monarchy. They're like, we should make them work. Let's put them to work. Like
I got some work for him to do. I have to do that like oh gosh, what is that? The East End, the
yes,
EastEnders,
yes.
the not so the very rough British accent. Hmm, was it? They drink a lot on this show, and very out of very expensive crystal. That's like sugar baron crystals, like in those stately southern mansions. They have the gorgeous crystal. Like that was the thing. You had your crystal that you put out for everyone to see.
Absolutely. I think it was also maybe the generation, like people had cocktails, they would drink alcohols like straight. It didn't have
All the
to be,
time.
yeah.
It was almost considered rude if you didn't.
The idea of like, what is it called? Dry dry January, or like the idea of not drinking alcohol for a whole month would sound absurd to that
Hmm.
generation.
Oh, absolutely. This is breaking my heart. Same difference right now.
Yeah, how?
Exactly. That's because it's your daughter, not your sister. Be honest.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Is this when Anne gives up her title or something? Like she decides she's not going to be, her children or something are not going to be,
That's
have titles or something? I don't remember.
that's a good question because I don't remember that at all. 40 years. Mm-hmm. Let
I
it out, girl.
I agree. So she has been in love with him for her whole life.
Her whole life. Her whole life. And her advisors basically told her that you have to act as queen, not as her sister, which was just heartless because she was in love with this man.
It was terrible advice.
Extremely terrible voice. But it was one of those weird things that the monarchy would do. I remember from watching the Tudors when Anne Boleyn's sister married someone without her permission. She was like freaking out about it. She's like, "No, we're royalty. You can't just go out and do this type of stuff." The royals like had to, had say in who you could marry and who you couldn't because they were trying to keep their own bloodlines pure. It was crazy.
Hmm.
Queen Mama's like, "Shoot, get them people." I really just had a soft spot for the Queen Mother. I don't know why. I just always would. I just loved seeing her.
She was so sweet. And they did.
Tempest food. Thank you. Okay, that was driving me nuts because I remember that particular Latin.
Annus horribilis has a problem if you remove one of the N's from the first word.
Really?
Mhm.
Huh.
You remove an N from Annus, it's another word.
Oh. Oh. I bet you a lot of people has probably said taking Latin class. Like, here, just take that out. I don't know, Mom. That's some bad advice.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh oh. Mm. Me think seems like we're getting a little personal right now.
So I didn't know there was pushback about her using that as the theme.
Wow.
Is not a year I will look back on with undiluted pleasure. An annus horribilis.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Everybody looking at it from the entire nation.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a hit. I don't care anymore. It's all my fault.
Mhm. Mhm. Hi. Really?
It is a year that's kind of crazy for them.
Mhm.
And we already know that Townsend was not well, which I suspected might be why he contacted her.
Of course.
She named her dog Rum.
And the dogs in Brandy and Sherry. That's like naming the dogs like what? Mad Dog, Thunderball,
Wine cooler.
Jack Daniels, Captain Morgan. Oh,
Aw.
here we go.
Oh, that's them. Oh, yes. So he did pass away in 1995, it says.
Uh huh.
So they had a few years together. It was 92.
Like 3 years ago.
All right. So we are on episode 2, everybody. Um,
Or we five.
oh, dear. I'm so sorry, guys. We
Oh,
are
that's all right.
on 5. The Way Ahead, season 5, episode 5 of The Crown. Forgetting what we're watching.
No worries. No worries. Hmm.
He feels, Charles, it seems like he feels he has to do more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody feels sorry for him.
No, no. Charles seems to just like, I don't know. Charles, it seems like even when he was a kid, he was just kind of had his own weird way of doing things, but not, it's, I don't know. I don't want to say untouchable, but he just has a way that, like, Diana makes you feel super comfortable when you meet her, as you know, shown in the show. With Charles, it's kind of like this kind of wall between you and him.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe you almost feel like you're being judged in a way. He has to figure you out, and
Hmm.
but maybe it's because I mean he had this whole thing. I mean, maybe he's different now that he married Camilla and he's the king now. Maybe things changed when he married Camilla. I don't know. Maybe he's a certain level of insecurity because he's kind of involved with someone he doesn't want to be involved with, and that can cause
Hmm.
a problem. It's not a problem if you're Daenerys from House of the Dragon, but for the rest of the world, being involved with someone you don't want to be involved with is a real problem.
It's very, very hard. It's just like he can't relate to Diana. They're like two different generations. And there are things about him, like about rigor and all of that, that he understands. And with Diana, she's like, no, do my own thing.
That he's calling Camilla.
Hmm.
Even she keeps the family unit together.
Hmm.
That's her husband, right? Parker Bowles, so and so Bowles.
Hmm. Is this a tampon gate episode?
I wish you could touch my knickers. Some of the highlights. Falling in love with you is easier than falling off a chair.
I
It's like,
just remember SNL parodied that, and I was in tears. I was laughing so hard.
oh, is he reading her a speech? Yeah, he is.
Hmm.
During Christmas, right? It's the holidays or something.
Hmm. Hmm. Is somebody tapping that? I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, wiretap.
Oh yes, that's right. That's how they got the when when she has the thing when she says, "Oh, oh yes, my knickers, Charles."
It was some saucy stuff.
Mhm. That's practically pornography for them. Like
Yeah, I'm like, dang, you can't talk to Diana like that. But is
there
that the
was
tap man?
there was some other scandal that happened. I don't think it's the same one, but some poor girl was missing, and a news organization. Yeah, you're right. It's like some kind of shortwave. You're right. This is what it is.
Hit it.
That would be considered a breach of security and a vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. That your
He's
telephone.
he's going to sell it to the newspaper.
Heck yeah, the Daily Mirror. Because it's an insecure line. He called her from an insecure line within the palace. That's why. Because with all the other calls, you notice like how it would go through this central system before they would patch it through to the queen. Hmm.
Go on, say it, girl. Say it, knickers. Oh, it's too bad.
Exactly. You don't want him going to the Guardian
or the Globe.
or the Sun
Oh, not the Sun.
or the Daily Mail.
Not the Daily Mail.
My objective whenever I visit the UK is not to end up in the Daily Mail.
Wait. Oh no, she says good night. I love you. Oh no. All right.
Adore you. Love how you drag that out. Adore you.
It's like she had took a stiff drink or something. Wow, Charles.
I'm so glad you want to live as a tampon inside me. Like that was, oh my god! It's like I can't believe you freaking said that.
Uh,
It just sounded so dark corny.
mm. I remember my mother had said something like, "Oh, they must really love each other, huh?" Like,
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
it's not like they could say, "Well, that's not my voice," and I'm not really
Mhm.
Charles, and she's not really Camilla. None of that. Oh dear. So this is the way ahead, huh?
Mhm.
3 years later. So what is it? 97?
Um, what was that 95 when we left off? Or was it 92 that we left off last time?
I don't know.
Hmm.
This must be Fergie and oh no.
Oh, that's Charles and Diana.
Oh, okay. So we don't see Fergie's divorce in this one.
You would think that we would,
So are we going to
because
see Bashir's interview right now?
that's a good question. Just like, yeah, I want out of this. I can't deal with your son anymore. It's like it's an age difference. She's different. He's from a different age.
And those recordings did not help the situation. It's
Mm-mm.
fair. What is he going to say? It's not him.
Because it is him. Every time seems that he has an issue, he'll run and talk to Camilla.
That's John Major.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I do remember him reading that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem that they encountered was this situation of her having security.
Mm-hmm.
And for at least for me, it seemed very petty. She's like being a president. You need protection for the rest of your life. You can't step away and say, I don't need security anymore.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now, if I remember correctly, things had kind of, she still was not granted the divorce until she did the interview. And do you remember anything about that? Or wasn't there some kind of pushback? Even though they agreed to a separation, she had to almost do this interview to make sure that the divorce was going to go through.
That's an excellent question. That part I don't really remember that part. That may have been the last the proverbial, I guess, straw that broke the camel's back, where it's just like, this is irreparable. We're going to divorce. So that may have been it. It's crazy. I don't. It's like for some reason I can't remember the interview.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on, honestly.
Yes, really. Yeah, no kidding. Several. Really. Hmm. Okay.
Damn, she is everywhere.
Every single place, there she is.
She just pops up like the elf on a shelf or something. Oh my
Great. Now I'm gonna equate Camilla with the elf on the shelf. That's funny. But it's true. It seems like every time you turn around, there she is.
And that's very different. That's a very different portrayal of what we've known the situation to be like, because he's not denying that he was with her, but the
Hmm.
notion of her being around like this is very different than, someone going off to someone's house and then coming back. She's
Hmm.
in the same space that everyone is in. She's practically a member of the family.
Hmm. Exactly. Oh. Hmm. Remote and out of touch. Hmm. You think he doesn't have to pretend to be someone that he is not, and I think that's what it is. They're two completely different different people, and Charles is more cerebral. Not to mention, what is he, like 12 years older than her?
Yeah,
I
maybe
think.
he was 30 and she was 19, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's around. You're absolutely right. He's been hiding himself because of all this stuff that's been happening. Now he's, as you said, liberated now, and I guess feels he can.
He can be like who he is. He talks to Camilla. She pretty much just like bolsters him up. And now that he sees, like, hey, now that I don't have Diana around anymore to pretend like I love her, I can kind of be myself. Which in a way is sad, because at the outset, they wanted a certain kind of woman for Charles, and that was who they found. But he's like, I don't want to marry her. And it's like, no, you're going to. Which I think if Diana had just not rocked the boat, I think that that would have worked. But because she's just like, no, I'm not going to be this, that's caused problems because Camilla is very easy for Charles to relate to because she understands kind of like the box that he kind of has to stay in. And Diana's like, what box? I don't need a box. What are we closing the doors
Yeah,
for?
what's going on? Oh, the interview. Oh, excuse me. So that happened after they just publish it.
It's coming out
The transcripts along with the recordings.
because that's what you want, that transcript. Because you may have called on your cell phone, idiot.
I think he did just stumble across it. I don't think they were doing it.
Yeah, he totally came across it by chance.
And they're known for their amateur radio people. And I don't even know if that's the right way to call it, but they
Hmm.
really are. They're known for, like, they have people who are like amateur astronomers, and that's what they do all day long. It's like, they're looking
Hmm.
at the sky or whatever, and they're known for that over there. So
Exactly. It's not like they tapped his phone. You happen to be on a frequency that got caught.
she likes it. Camilla likes it. She likes it.
Mhm.
She thinks they should publish the actual recordings rather than I guess the transcriptions.
Hmm.
This is very narcissistic, but it serves her own purpose, doesn't it?
It does. Like, get it out there that it is, that Charles is, I'm the one that Charles wants. Let's get that out there. She has nothing to lose from this.
It's almost as if they're talking now and they know they're being recorded at some point. Like, this is absolutely. There we go. There we go.
Well, Charles,
Whew,
you
yes.
can't be like that with Diana, huh? And your mama reading this.
Yes, you do. Oh, yes, what about him? Yes, all week, all the time.
Everybody's reading stuff like.
Yeah. Hmm.
John Major's like, oh my gosh.
A pair of knickers. There it is. There it is.
It's like, damn, Betsy. Yeah, your husband is reading this. This was just some of the just awkwardly like trying to be sexy and it works for them, but people are just like, this is so cringe.
This is tied with Two Girls in a Cup award for the most freakiest phone call ever.
Yeah. Do a few.
Now, you know, this was incredibly humiliating for her, for Diana.
Extremely humiliating. This is like public, there's no plausible deniability. This is absolute proof that my husband is has a very beyond platonic relationship with this woman. And I've been telling you for years about this chick, and y'all have what? Oh my god, I can't imagine how humiliating it is. It's just like I'm your wife and you can't talk to me like that.
He's probably never spoken, "Oh, I love you." Oh my god.
Adore you. Yep.
This does sound like, what is it, like Skinamax?
It
Um,
is.
but now this wasn't anything Diana did. This is something that happened, and now that the whole world knows about it, she can't go back on this.
No. There's no way she could reconcile this marriage after this. He's like denied anything has been going on with Camilla for years.
Now it's 10 years later, and he's still doing all this. And
Hmm.
now any book that she's written, that one from before where she claimed that there was an affair going on, he cannot deny it now.
Not at all. Oh, filthy. Filthy. Yes. And that was the other thing. They were just like, he
So,
can't be king after this.
wow, I don't remember that. I
I
don't remember.
remember that they were talking about the throne going directly to his son,
Oh my.
William. And I think this was right about when I think official I may get this wrong, but I think when officially the queen was starting to prep William to be king and for the throne to completely skip over Charles. I think this is when he got that nickname C Unit because he was such a big respect to his mother. Well, you walked into it, bruh.
Oh, that's his sister Anne.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
she
Yeah.
she hit the nail on the head. It was just
Mm-hmm.
too chronological.
Mm-hmm.
Have to be that way, but that's okay. It did sound like maybe teenagers talking.
That is exactly what it sounds like because it's so awkward. It's like, let's see, it's not sexy. It's like experiment flirtation with that. Not very smooth, I guess is what I should say.
Like, for example, when he talks about, I wish I could be this object, like
Yeah.
it's not anything that adults really would say to one another, but that's
No, it's like who talks like that? Teenagers.
okay. Oh,
Yup.
his father is like browbeating the crap out of him with this one.
And the House of Commons does not particularly like the House of Lords, actually.
My dear honorable gentleman. It's not faithfulness or some, what is it? Is it faithfulness forever or something like that? Oh, I was going to say staying faithful no matter what or some shit.
Better death than dishonor. Hmm.
That's like something your mom or dad would say when you were 10 and you were in trouble.
Hmm.
They spoke to you and you still hung around and you were there and they're like, what are you still doing here? You know, like
Well,
this is their version, essentially like a sex tape. This is
yes,
their version of a sex,
exactly.
and they're kind of walking around like, yeah, okay, we're old, but we have a sex tape, yo. We got a sex tape. You're like, maybe the first sex tape. Gosh, was it?
Probably in the era of phone sex, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Hmm.
Oh, they know how he feels.
Yeah.
An interview. No, no.
Hmm. You,
I don't remember this.
I don't either. Hmm. Being. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all.
Mm.
I mean, I know he gives an interview after Diana gives her Bashir interview, but I don't
Right.
remember this.
Yeah, I don't remember this one. I don't remember this one either. Hmm. 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 Here we go. Hmm. Hmm.
This is where an SNL skit would go nuts right now.
Exactly. What do you mean I'm just a friend? That's what I would be thinking. But her husband right there.
This is so uncomfortable. Don't turn
It,
around.
it,
Don't look.
like, oh God, I'm gonna sit and smoke this cigarette. It's like, oh God, everybody knows. Until what? Not to what?
She's I didn't know he gave an interview kind of before. I just didn't know this happened.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I think that she needed to speak up and say this because he makes it sound like he tried as hard as he could.
When in reality was he had no intention of trying.
Mhm.
I gotta go do something.
Yeah, he's getting his attorney on the phone. He cannot stay in that relationship either, her husband. Or do they want someone perfect like my mother?
Yes.
He could have said that he wasn't honest with her. He could have said that. And I think people would have been like, if he had said, I made a mistake and I wasn't honest with her and she deserved better, people would have been like,
Like, okay, I get that.
but from the way he's presenting it, is that they both tried as hard as they could and it didn't
Hmm.
work out. And we know that that's not the truth. At least I don't believe that's the truth.
No, and plus people haven't heard her side of the story of just how he is, how Camilla was literally the third person in the marriage.
So now he's coming out looking like a good guy.
Hmm.
Close friendship. Now they're saying it.
Oh, was this the revenge dress?
Yes, it is. Good call. Good call.
Yup.
She did look great.
She looked freaking hot
And
in that
this
dress.
this actress, I it's like watching her all over again.
It
I
sure is.
Wow.
I remember this dress.
Hmm. Look at her. Look at that.
It's
That
like
is
I am in my flipping element. They love me. They love me. Because Camilla was quite dumpy looking. And I remember that's what the British press would say. I mean, they were vicious about what she looked like. I think somebody said she looked like a horse.
yeah, that wasn't
No,
cool.
but that oh my god, the British press, they were just vicious.
That's why I couldn't believe Meghan Markle saying she'd never heard of the British press. That just can't be true.
No, that's ignorant because everybody knows when it comes to, especially with like celebrities and everybody knows the British press are brutal. They are, ugh, no one throws shade quite like the Brits.
So now they're on Charles's side.
Hmm. But it's actually going to be in his best interest to seem as if he's supporting Charles rather than Diana. Hmm. Let's see, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Okay, I had to think about that for a minute.
Hmm. And they each have their own flags. And you put them together, it's the Union Jack.
Yes. Hmm.
So it must be the next episode where Bashir comes into play. Because I think what would happen or could possibly happen at this point is that they could say that we're not going to, she wouldn't get good divorce terms.
Yeah, because I think that was what they were talking about. Should you divorce? I think it's like she was going to have to give up her title as Princess of Wales. Um, she could never become queen, and couldn't, like, I think she got, did she get cut off from the royal payroll? Something like that. A whole bunch of stuff that she had to give up.
Did he admit that he was unfaithful in this? Do you remember?
I don't
Excuse me.
remember if he did.
See, this is something that I also think is his tone was very different after she did the Bashir interview because he
Hmm.
did another interview to kind of rebuttal that. So I'm just curious as to how, because right now he's quite happy with the way things are.
Yeah, because he feels he can be separate to do whatever pretty much he wants right now, but not be with her.
You tell her, man.
Don't be doing it to your mom.
It's uncomfortable. I didn't realize that he had that um tension between he and his mother like this, even at
Hmm.
a point where he needs her support more than ever.
Right.
It's really hard for them. They put out something and they can never tell how something's going to be received. They always have to worry about whether or not the public may look at it favorably or not.
Right.
This must be Anne.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that this year.
Mm-hmm.
He is King Charles III. Of course, that was 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I don't think his mother is feels comfortable in this.
Mm-mm. Is she going to another hospital?
Well, this is him making an appearance now,
Oh.
like he normally would. It's like 5 appearances a day or something that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish we could find out from someone who was in the United Kingdom at the time whether or not they felt that Prince Charles did understand the youth of the 1980s or the 1990s.
Because I don't feel that he truly did. And if this whole focus group supposedly actually happened, I feel like he got it filtered through that particular group because I don't remember seeing him do anything like this. I could have missed it, but I hadn't really seen pictures of him out like this. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know if it was something he did in good faith, or is it something that he just funded and had other people did? I'm not quite sure. That's interesting to find out if that actually happened. Let's see.
So we're about halfway through the series, Lorena. This is the halfway point
Mhm,
for season 5. We just finished episode 5.
mhm.
On to oh, I know that song.
Don't sweat the technique. Technique.
He's
Eric B. and Rakim. Okay, so he founded it in 1976. Okay.
well, he's dancing the Eric V. 1 million young people to fulfill their potential. Wow, that is a lot of people.
That's a lot.
And returned nearly 1.4 billion in value to society.
Society.
So they followed whoever they gave money to and see how they developed and contributed to
Mhm.
the nation.
I did look up online, and it is actually legit from 1976.
Wow. All right. Episode 6, Ipatchev House. Ipatchev House. I have no idea what that means.
Which one?
It's episode 6, Ipatchev House. Did yours go right to it?
Yeah, it did. Ipitev House. I've never heard of this one
I've
before. It's
never heard of it
interesting.
either. Now, this is a flashback. This be World War I? Yes, World War I.
Mhm. Wow, I still have to finish watching All Quiet on the Western Front. It is insanely good.
Yes. Now that's right outside of Buckingham Palace during World War I.
Mhm. Can you imagine a heating bill for that place?
From what I understand, it's always cold, and the queen is famously known for putting a woolly on or put something on to keep you warm.
I would be under every blanket they had.
Someone has a parrot on their shoulder, like a
Is he a pirate?
yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's like a pirate.
Must be well trained so it doesn't like snap his ear off.
Oh, this is not World War I. This is when the Romanovs were fleeing for their lives.
Oh my gosh, when they killed all of them, including the dog.
Yes,
That's literally what my history teacher said. Lined them all up, shot them all in the head, including the dog.
and they, from what I understand, the British had a choice of letting them in or not. The answer should have been an instant yes.
Yeah, because this was the Bolshevik Revolution, right? That
Mm,
was
no,
going on.
they're fleeing for their lives. They need a rescue. The answer should have been an immediate yes.
This is 1917, so yes, during World War One.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, Lorraine, we got our answer. That might be the house that they were killed in, or something like that. The Russian royal family.
yeah, because they went in there and killed all of them.
I didn't know we were going to see this in this.
Or maybe it's because they feel that if they would have given them safe passage out of Russia to England, that they would have survived. But they didn't understand. They did. I guess they didn't think that sentiment would turn so quickly on the monarchy in Russia.
This is when they get murdered.
Yep, cousin. That's right.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah.
They think they have a that someone's going to come get them. I wonder why they chose to show this.
Or is it another quote unquote dirty secret about the royals that they didn't want to get out?
It must be an Anastasia thing. Remember the woman who claimed to be Anastasia, and then maybe they test her DNA or something?
Hmm. Anastasia, the one that supposedly survived.
I don't know if it is, but maybe that's why they're showing this.
It'll be interesting. See what happens. But I keep forgetting all of these European royals are related.
Mhm. Victoria's
Oh
children.
my gosh, what is this? Is this like the death pool?
Oh no. All the aristocrats and people they have to get.
Yes, that they have to take out because of so much poverty and why all these revolutions were starting to happen.
Oh, they're so scared.
Yeah, they got it just
Oh,
I remember hearing about when I read about this in history class. I just and a dog. Dang, no, not the dog, y'all.
Oh no, they don't know they're going to be killed.
This was so jacked up. So why would they take? Oh Lord, why would they take them down there to do
Oh,
that?
to kill them in a place where no one else can see them getting killed, maybe.
That's true. But I thought it was kind of weird. It's like they're taking you down there to take a picture. Why not in the royal palace?
Hmm. Oh no. Oh God.
So why did their cousin George not come for them?
Oh. Mm.
Yeah, because it was the work of the revolution. Oh my God. Killed everyone. And the dog. I never knew England had anything to do with this.
Yeah, they were related. They asked for help and they didn't provide it, I guess. Or
Yeah, I mean, I never knew that they had actually, had actually reached out, like,
also,
hey, come and help us and get us out of here.
the 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 British king looks like a doppelganger to his cousin. They look like twins. It's very, very odd. If you look up, see the picture of them together,
Hmm.
they look like twins, the two cousins, the British cousin and the Russian cousin. They look like brothers or identical twins.
Oh
They
my
can't
gosh.
really, you can't really, from the pictures, they're definitely relatives.
Yeah.
Now, from what we've been told, let's say from what we've learned now,
Hmm.
100 years later, how many years later, they were buried in shallow graves in the forest or something like that.
Hmm.
And it was absolutely horrible. And
It was just, if I'm trying to remember from history class, they didn't believe that the people would turn on them in that way, from what I understand. It's like they didn't, it's like they were kind of ignorant about what was going on in their own country. And they were kind of like, the people would never turn on the monarchs like that. So it started out like the French Revolution, and they totally misread the room and just slaughtered all of them.
I've never seen a recreation of it. This is the first time I've seen a dramatization of it.
Yeah, first time I have too.
Remember, this is the man who gave his children Fabergé eggs. So they used to live in the lap of luxury. And where we saw them was after they'd been pretty much taken away from everything.
Hmm.
Now, is this when the Berlin Wall fell? Because it's in the 90s. That's when
Was
the
in the Niners. Yeah,
wall
it was in the 90s, and this was when kind of like the revolution, like in the Soviet Union, were happening. So this was, I think, like after the 80s or in the 80s. Yeah, yeah. And kind of like the US, we are pretty much building up our arsenal and also imposing like sanctions on Russia, kind of like outspending them. So the people were revolting. Mm-hmm. What? You've never seen him sober. He looks deadpan like Boris Yeltsin.
Mhm. Yay!
I see a party man.
Sounds like you might get along with Margaret pretty well.
Really? Really?
Yeah, see you in a month.
Carriage driving. Hmm.
I think it's too dangerous. Honestly, I think carriage driving is too dangerous for him, but
Hmm. Yes, of course. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm off. I see you in a couple months. Oh, 3. Yeah. Okay.
he might extend the trip.
Yeah, just a little bit, little bit. I guess she does her thing, and I guess they're at that age now where she does her thing and he does his thing.
But she doesn't seem to like it.
No, she doesn't.
I guess she's going to go meet Boris Yeltsin.
I was kind of remember like earlier, it seemed like he kind of had to kind of like be around her for the most of the time, and then he started to do like his own things.
Now, this is the lady who had unfortunately lost her daughter. I can't
Hmm.
remember her name.
Is it Diana's cousin or sister? I think it's her sis. I think it's her sister because the girl who died was her niece.
Some olives, some cheese. That's a nice snack. Out of a
Hmm.
out of a Pyrex or a little Tupperware.
Container. Red grapes. I don't particularly like red grapes, but they'll work in a pinch. I hope y'all got a lot of stowage now.
Better be on tap.
What? Interesting. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that where the Romanovs were shot?
Yekaterinburg. Welcome, welcome. So, what do you know about the deaths of 7 people and a dog?
Yeah.
It's never an easy dinner for these guys.
Mm-mm. Seems like so many bodies. figuratively, that are buried, that get dug back up.
I always like the sound of the Russian language. It's
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
funny you should bring the czarist up.
Yes.
I feel like I'm missing a glass.
Mhm.
Wow, he's very grabby.
Very.
Uh-oh. Why couldn't she just take the trip and come back and then chastise him?
Bad memories. That's what I was gonna say. He was very young.
I wonder if he was really like the way this actor is portraying him. He's like very vibrant for an old man. You know, I mean, I'm sorry for people, older person. He's got to
Cause
be about 70. He's got to be about 70, right? But he doesn't
yeah,
seem like a 70-year-old. Like he's vibrant.
because let's see, Brezhnev died. I think, and drop off didn't stay long because Yuri was there, and then he dropped off, and then Yeltsin. Everybody drink. Everyone line up here together. There we go. I can understand you. I can understand you. That's not what he said.
I have to say that the the Hermitage Palace is unbelievable looking. Not that there's anything wrong with these palaces, but that palace, I was like, I can't even, I can't. I thought she understood them.
I thought so too. Because she spoke, because she spoke a certain saying in Russian, and I'm really thinking that she understood exactly what they were saying.
See it? There's gold on the walls. Is this? Oh, this is. Oh yes, this is how they find it, right, Lorena?
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
It's odd that they didn't burn the bodies.
Mhm.
That they
I
could.
think they were just in such a hurry, they just buried them.
Oh, okay, okay.
I guess to make their bodies dissolve quicker.
And we didn't have DNA yet, right?
No. So these are basically her cousins.
Yes,
Mhm. Yeah, she did say that. It's not
because they want to get DNA
from her.
to use as a sample to see if they're related.
Mhm.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Damn
because what they'll do, yeah,
smart.
you're
Damn
right.
smart. It's here. It's in the teeth.
Absolutely right. Mhm. Mhm. Yes,
Yes, it's
that's
true.
exactly what it is. As I took a mitochondrial DNA test. It's like it's passed from mother, like from grandma, like the direct maternal line. Sons also inherited it. But if a son has another son, that mitochondrial DNA is gone.
Right.
That line's like gone. It's missing.
He's like, what kind of sample are you talking about? I don't know what
Yeah.
they asked for back then. What did they ask for? Blood, maybe? Or
Um, it might be blood. It might be I think it was blood. Blood or hair, I think. Now why would they go through Philip instead of through her?
okay, let me think about this.
I thought
The
Elizabeth was
mitochondrial
the
DNA,
descendant.
maybe it's for the male. Maybe it's for the male. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie.
If it
Was the mother, there's parents and their children. The parents would have the same mitochondrial DNA as Elizabeth, but the children, if the mother is not a British royal, which I don't think she was, those kids wouldn't have the same mitochondrial DNA as the mother. I'm sorry, as the father, because the father and mother have different parents. So the father is the cousin of the British royal, and maybe they need her.
hmm,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
hmm, that's because if I remember correctly, the British royal family, they are not actually British. They are actually
German.
German.
And he's half German, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half German,
Okay.
half Greek or something like that.
Yeah.
I could be
That's
saying,
why I was wondering why they were trying to go through her instead of through Elizabeth.
yeah, it's a
So I think
possibility that
her
the mother
mother,
was closely related to Philip and the father was more closely
yeah,
related to Elizabeth. I could be wrong, but they are somewhat interrelated, this group as well.
yeah, they are. Because I'm just kind of like, which line does it directly go up to, and why are they testing him instead of her. But
Mm,
depending on who his mother is, actually, yes, his
yeah.
mother. That's why they want to go through the mitochondrial
Now
DNA.
his mother is Greek.
So his
His
mother's
mother is
Greek.
Greek. Yeah. So
So it wouldn't go through her. Unless depends on who her parents are. I'd have to look that whole thing up.
yeah, we do have to look it
Because
up.
if they're talking
Maybe
about the mitochondrial DNA, it's passed through the mother.
yes.
So they
No,
would be looking at his mother.
it's no, it's absolutely true. It's just that
Yeah.
technically speaking, if everybody has the same great grandmother, then they all should have the same mitochondrial DNA if it's passed
Right.
maternal line.
Hmm.
German Orthodox roots. He's
So think
supposedly the prince of
Prince Alice of Battenberg and
his
Prince
mother.
his mother.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think he is the prince of Greece and of one other country, Sweden or something.
Hmm. That's what I was looking for, was that family tree.
Mhm.
So the father Battenberg and then the mother.
His father must have been Greek. That's what it was. He was the king of Greece or the prince of Greece or something like that. And they
Mhm.
ended up becoming exiled, as you and I discussed before, and having to move to Paris more or less. Um, it's kind of sad, actually.
Man, I remember having to look at so many genealogical trees. Oh my God. Some of them I'd go cross eyed when you have like the mother would die, and then the widower would marry the sister and then have children through the sister. And then I'd find out that I'm descended from the two sisters.
Mhm. Mhm. And then the biggest nightmare would be that you find out after having the DNA test that you have the same ancestors on your mother's and your father's side.
Yeah, we ran into that too. Blame the French and the English. I'm actually related to my brother-in-law as distant cousins through Quebec of all places. It's the
Mhm.
weirdest thing. We got like the DNA test back and like with my niece, because we tested my niece, and then we got like all these matches and it said mother and father's side. I'm like, where the heck did that come from? And
Mhm.
we pulled it up, and because our branch went to New Orleans and the other one stayed in Quebec, that's where it came from. They said, yeah, they intermarried a lot. I said, yes, I found that out. I'm grateful that that record is there. Like those New England families and those Quebecois families, they took like notoriously detailed records. That's how I found out about the European royal families and just how inbred they are. And she always had her outfits with her hat, matching her outfit, matching her bag. I freaking love that.
I do as well. You used to be able to go to the department store and they would have a matching shoes with a matching bag. Like that was pretty standard years
Hmm.
ago.
It almost was considered to be, if you didn't have your outfit all matched together, just it's like, it's not good. Love those jewels. Oh my God, they look so good. I love that crown. I need that crown.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that crown is spectacular with the earrings and the necklace.
Mhm. And all in red.
Now that's the Russian Orthodox Church.
Mhm.
And they have their own sovereignty, right? They're independent of Rome and
Mhm.
independent of Rome.
Yes.
So it's
Mhm.
two different Christian Orthodox churches that are independent of Rome, so to speak.
Mhm.
Now he looks a lot like Prince Philip from behind, like that. That angle. There's so many angles, like especially when Prince Philip was older and we saw him, he kind of does look like that actor from that angle in the back of his head or the profile.
Mhm.
I have never been to a Russian Orthodox church.
I've never been, but I've seen pictures of one of them, very opulently decorated. Of course, they're on a different calendar than we are, the Gregorian calendar, I believe. So that's why it's like our Christmas is before theirs.
Hmm.
Our Easter is like usually before theirs.
And the Greek Orthodox Church has a very similar thing where their Christmas is 30 days after ours or something like that, right?
Right.
Well, it takes time, doesn't it?
Time for
To do the analysis and everything, especially back then. Like it would take a little while to do the DNA analysis.
yes, because it's not this period of time, the DNA would take, I think, like weeks to come, no, months to come back.
Hmm.
It took a really long time for that to come back. Like when I got a DNA test, it only took a few, I think, like 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, he's a Greek Orthodox.
Hmm. Hmm. That's true, but it's kind of weird. Poor guy. It's kind of like a shame when couples have been along around so long that they drift apart. Not always, it's not always sexual.
That's right. It's the woman who lost her child.
Hmm. He felt needed. Because it's an emotional attachment.
Yes. It's emotional cheating.
Hmm. Yes.
To stop seeing her.
Hmm. Mm. Who pulled the trigger?
It's the man in the mirror, or in this case, the queen in the mirror. That royal family in the mirror.
Mm. Curiouser and curiouser.
So she's going to the site, I'm guessing, to see where
Hmm.
that used to be, or maybe the grave site, or maybe not. One of those Hermes scarves, or Louis Vuitton, or Chanel, or
Just this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous scarf. Mm. Hmm.
He's not sleeping with this woman.
No, but it's like but like we were saying, it's like it's emotional dishonesty. But you find I found that mature men who come across younger women who share the same intellectual interests that they do not have with their spouses, they tend to fall into like this emotional relationship that's going on. They don't really see it as cheating because it's just we're just sharing, mutual interests, but then they wind up developing like this closeness that they should have with their spouse. It's like it opens a door for all kinds of stuff. It seems like it's innocent at first, and for some people it is. It's just like we just share similar interests, no big deal or anything like that, but it's like they don't really spend time with their spouse in that way.
It's a good point.
Hmm.
It must be so like this is to just be able to walk in there and say, "Yeah, I know where the book is."
Mhm.
Go to the royal librarian. She doesn't have to stand on ceremony with her because that's her aunt, right?
Mhm.
That's the letter.
Mhm. That's George the 6th. Now that is Queen Elizabeth's mother.
Is it Queen Mary of Tech or something like that? Maybe I'm wrong.
Queen,
It's the
yes.
Queen Mother. So this
Queen
is
mother, sorry, I mean the Queen mother.
no, you're right. The Queen Mother is Queen Elizabeth, isn't she?
Well, that's Queen Mary, right?
Yeah. So Elizabeth's mother's name is also Elizabeth, is it not?
Or was she Mary Elizabeth? I mean, I actually pulled up a genealogical chart right now. I have it like off screen.
It is Mary of Tech then.
Yes, it is Mary of Tech,
Okay.
because George the Fifth was the descendant of Tsar Nicholas
Mhm.
that I'm looking at. So for some reason, I oh, but I believe it. Girl, I don't think you understand. Women are catty, especially royal women are catty. because she probably felt guilty.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Hmm. But the fact that she said to not send the ships there,
It's very sus.
yeah, because they were Russian. They weren't German. So she didn't even know about that letter. Queen Elizabeth didn't know anything about that letter, huh? Interesting.
Really? Oh, wow. Oh my God.
What?
She's getting invited to go to Christmas at Sandringham. I'm sorry. I would be excited to be
Shoot.
invited to.
Heck yeah, I would want to go.
I got excited about it. I don't know. Maybe everybody's like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay. She obviously knows that nothing is going on between the two of them. But she does have different views from her husband and from Penny,
Hmm.
which is fine for them to have different views. But as the monarch, she truly has different views. And technically speaking, she and her husband are partners now. They're not on different sides anymore. He gave up his he's not ethnically British, but he gave up his whatever loyalties he had when he married,
Yeah,
right?
he gave up his I believe he gave up his German his citizenship because they changed their name but not their citizenship, which is why the original name was Battenberg. And because of rising anti-German sentiment in the UK, they changed their name from Battenberg to Mountbatten, which sounded, I think it was like it kind of sounded, oh gosh, was it Dutch? They wanted to say that. That's how they changed the name, so it sounded more like it was Dutch than German. But before marrying Elizabeth, he abandoned his titles and all of that, just because of just how rampant anti-German sentiment was,
And
which would make sense, especially given after World War II and just how devastating it was when the Germans bombed London.
absolutely, it people would criticize that. They're
Yeah,
going to say that doesn't seem right. And Prince Philip is not excluding her from any of these outings. He's just saying that he
no,
needs to have other activities to do.
yeah, and it's activities that she's not interested in really. She likes spending time with her horses. She likes spending time with her dogs. Um, in addition to her title as monarch, Philip isn't really interested in equerry or the dogs really. You see him earlier on, he's like he was learning how to fly, to fly as a pilot and doing other interests that he liked, and she just didn't enjoy those same interests. And I know I'm speaking in generalities here, Men form a lot of friendships through mutual activities
Hmm.
that they like to do. And that's why that some other couples, as they get older, they start to really grow apart because they lose those common interests, unfortunately, for some people. It's hard when you don't have the same interest, but you need to have something you can
Yeah.
like share. And I think they just opposite directions. Discretion? No, that too. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Hmm. Ah,
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember how many years they were married for. Do you remember?
it just seemed like forever. And not like forever in a bad way. It's kind of like, how long have your grandparents been married? Oh, I don't know, forever. Hmm.
My mother still counts, she's a widower, but she still counts the years as if they count. So,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
really?
Hmm. She had this affection with the dogs that she didn't seem to have with her husband. It was, I think Charles had mentioned in an interview how his mother seemed to show more affection towards the dogs than like towards him. And he kind of just seems like two different things.
And she had a lot of dogs. It wasn't one or two.
Yeah, she had like a lot of dogs. There were those the wiener, not the wiener dog, excuse me, corgis,
Hmm.
those short leg dogs.
All right. So we're starting
Wow.
episode 7 for season 5, episode 7, No Woman's Land.
Hmm. Oh, library stacks. This is giving me nightmares in a way. You can get lost in those library stacks. I used to get scared. I'm like, where do I have to go?
Yeah, 'cause there was no one around.
No. Which made great places to study if you didn't want to be bothered by anyone. But man, it's just like no one could find you.
Some of those libraries that have the moving shelves, I also didn't care for those.
That is beautifully shot.
Hmm. Now, this person looks like this might be Bashir preparing for something.
Mm, doing that research.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely him. Oh, the children are at Eton now?
Hmm.
So there's nothing holding them together.
No, it's like the classic case of,
Empty nest syndrome.
yeah, that, and the parents don't have anything in common. So it's like they start to split apart. And I had friends who, as soon as all the kids like left the house, it's like next thing you know, their parents were getting a divorce. Now she's concerned about her.
Now, you and I had looked at an article about Bashir, and there were a number of things in the article that had pointed out about how he wasn't necessarily given a chance to work as a reporter, um,
Mhm.
several reasons, and also that later on it was found out that he manipulated information in order to get this interview, which is incredibly disturbing. The BBC won like a broadcast award for this
Mhm.
interview, and they returned it once they found out that it was acquired under false information. So this
Mm.
is going to be one of the most interesting episodes because we are going perhaps to hear that interview, that interview. Just when things were starting to quiet down.
Mhm. It's like, look what happens.
The music is so dramatic. No woman's land.
Hmm.
Oh, is it the kids at school at Eton?
Think so.
I'm trying to think of where no woman's land would be because Eton isn't co-ed, is it? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't I think Eton was a boys' school, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just got surrounded by press. And I remember, I think, and Diana was saying, how it was just crazy. Yep, dropping the boys at school. Terrible handwriting, and we still let him
Of
in.
course they would. He's going wherever he wants to
He's
go.
a royal. Can you imagine growing up like that? I mean, my dad used to have a camera in my face a lot, and that kind of like made me not want to be in front of a camera because it seemed like every time I turned around, it's a camera in my face.
It is uncomfortable, and they shouldn't allow the cameras in there like that, not in the school.
No. Him. It's like, don't be
She
such an a.
deserves this crap. She doesn't deserve that crap. Let her. She's
Mm-mm.
saying goodbye to him for like what, a whole year.
Boarding school. He's not going to come home except for breaks. You're basically dropping him off at Hogwarts.
But Hogwarts, at least there were places where you could escape. They had fun things. I think this school's a little tough. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is like Hogwarts.
Because I kind of say that with like the boarding school aspect. I always thought that it was kind of weird with boarding schools. I kind of felt like that's where people dropped their kids off so they didn't have to deal with them.
I've had some friends who went to boarding high schools because they were athletes. So, like, it was a high school that
Mm.
focused on tennis or on hockey. And then
Mhm.
when they went to college, they got scholarships for those sports. So like they
Right.
need to practice as that level every day. So
Mhm.
is Eton close to where she is?
Let me see.
I'm not quite sure where she is right now. Is it Buckingham or she wants him to come home for tea every once in a while so he can see his grandmother. That's nice. I'm sure the other kids don't get that opportunity very often.
Let's see. Eton. Hmm. Eton College in England. Or is that hmm. Can't be that far. It is actually near Windsor Castle.
Oh, so then it is close to one of their castles.
Yes. Mhm.
Ah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because Americans got money. And she liked visiting America.
An institution she trusts.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. It is a huge story. Yeah, and it was a huge story. Okay, this is where the forgery takes place. And clearly, this is what you don't do, forge bank documents to get a story or for any other matter. You don't.
Yeah. You do not wanna do that.
So this is gonna arouse suspicion about the people who are close to Diana and put her kind of off her normal judgment.
Mhm.
That's her older brother,
Yes.
and he's been very vocal about the situation with Diana.
Mhm. Oh, I didn't know he was on American
I
television.
had no idea either. Yes. Yes.
Mhm. So here's the forward statements, right?
Yes. Shocking. Absolutely shocking that somebody could get away with this.
Wow.
But there was no reason not to trust him.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
This is so wicked.
It's crazy. Wow.
This is such bullshit.
This is
Oh
crazy.
God. It's so disturbing. That information can ruin someone's life and career.
Mm-hmm. It's basically started on a lie. Just what it says. Hmm.
So it's that simple.
Because he has no like reason to doubt that. Is he thinks the documents that he saw was authentic. Um, Bashir hasn't done anything to put himself on like the short list at the
Right.
BBC so far.
Right.
Excuse me.
It's been a long day for both of us.
Sorry, I don't want to do that.
No, it has.
Ugh. I love the fact that Diana is so concerned with her acupuncturist husband and she wants what royal would do this?
It's true.
I think it's because she knows what it feels like to feel like you're alone.
Hmm. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Ugh.
Is he the heart surgeon that she started dating?
Yes, he is. How did you know this?
So I
She's
read that
critical
she
of him.
dated a heart surgeon
She,
and the way she's looking at him, I'm
look
like,
at her
ooh,
looking at.
okay.
Ooh.
Hey, how you doing?
And I've seen this doctor in real. You've seen him in real life. He's a good-looking man.
Gorgeous.
This actor is also very good-looking, but this is.
What did she? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's a hookup.
There you go. Yeah, I get it. But he was hot, right?
Do you think he's married? Is he single? Or...
Hmm.
It does sound Pakistani.
Yeah, It's not a Hindu name, Hindu last name.
You're right. It does look like Hogwarts.
Hmm.
That was a click.
Hmm. Tap.
Well, it's true. They are doing.
Hmm. They're waiting for it. Hmm. He just said it was urgent. That's all.
She looks like the average lady going out, driving in her car. She doesn't look like it's
Ooh,
any.
she's got an Audi.
Mhm. She should probably be with a bodyguard, but
That's why you shouldn't be out by yourself.
she needs to be careful.
Hmm. Oh my God. Oh, that's scary. Did somebody cut her brake line? Emergency brake, honey. There you go. I bet you somebody cut her brake line.
God, why would anyone do that? That is just
Or
horrifying.
did it just give way for some reason? That's just
It's not
weird.
normal that it gives way, right?
No, not at all.
Mm. She needs to forget about that car.
Where is she going? Oh, to her brother's house.
It's a cool looking jacket.
Hmm.
What? She was on bad terms with her brother?
I didn't know this. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, we're at 30 minutes left in this show. 30 minutes.
Okay.
I was supposed to be saying how much time we have all this time, and I've been forgetting to do that.
That happens when you get like caught up in what's going on. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys where we are. Mm.
She's very doubtful of it.
Hmm.
Nothing is all right, bro.
That's what I thought. Your brakes don't just go out like that.
She can't ride that car back.
Mm-mm.
Why doesn't he drive her home?
He needs to. That must be William. Hmm. I always got the impression that William loved spending time with his grandmother.
Yes.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the grandparents know they can't do anything with their kids, so they start working on the grandkids. And they're sneaky too.
Oh, so it is co-ed. Oh, that's right. She went there to learn about the Constitution, and not she didn't board there.
Yeah. Remember that one professor was just like, no, you don't need to. That stuff you don't need to look at. And was looking, it was like math and science and all that. Hmm. Hmm. That tea set. I need that tea set in my life. Gorgeous. That is true. I found that out when I went to visit Buckingham Palace. I'm like, is the Queen here? They're like, no. If her standard is the royal standard isn't flying, the Queen is not in residence. She's in Balmoral. I'm like, crap.
Oh,
Hmm. He probably knows just how unhappy his mother is, even though she tries to hide it.
now she's there for her friend, but she's also there
Find out who that doctor is. She getting intelligence. That's what she getting right now.
411 on the doctor.
Hello. Oh. He is quite attractive.
Mhm. And that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Can't have you bugging my patience now. She said Sloan Ranger. I gotta laugh at that. I haven't heard that since Ab Fab. I had to look what that was. Mm.
I'll meet you at the vending machine.
Well,
I'll meet you at the
hello.
vending machine. If this was Japan, they would like it's vending machine extraordinaire there. But I think we all know what's in this vending machine. I'm guessing there probably will be crisps and Cadbury bar stuff, and what else would be in there? Cookies, perhaps biscuits.
Mm. I'm like,
So,
biscuit. It is actually we know it as a cookie. I said, well, if you're from the South, you got to be a little bit more specific.
mhm. Okay, got the crisps.
Crisps. Yes, instead of chips, you got crisps. No Aero bars, no Turkish delights, no Cadbury flake. Oh God, that's so good. What is that?
Cadbury sounds great right about now.
I brought some from England, and my mom like inhaled them. It's a heart surgery when it goes food.
What? Oh my goodness, she
She
didn't
ain't kidding.
do that.
She's like, I have nothing to lose. Yes. Mm-hmm. This is some personal information that she's willingly given up. Yeah, a TMI.
Well, he's a doctor because sometimes doctors, people do confide in doctors a little bit more than they would a normal person.
You do have a point with that.
Oh, are you married? Are you single?
That's a legit question.
Are you single? What?
That's why.
It's a good film.
Apollo 13 is a cool movie. Why can't I? Really?
Good.
Do you have a friend that lets you in the back door?
I guess she's gonna wear a disguise, right?
Probably like a wig.
This is so horrible that he did this. That's why she said they see me as a threat. That's why she said that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Mhm.
Wow. He's really deep in it.
Mhm. Wow.
I can't. I just can't.
Wow.
This is so cruel and unethical.
Wow. Hmm. Used to be.
This is disgraceful what he's done.
Completely.
I can't. I can't. I had no idea that this was how this whole thing came about. I thought it was because she needed to set the record straight, and it wasn't. It's because of this.
Very aggressive. Very. Hmm.
She's asking because she's dating a guy who's
Mhm.
she's supposed to know a little bit more. So if you went out, what would you do? He'd be like,
So it's like he's purposely moving this. What?
because she's picking someone who is outside of the establishment
Mhm.
or would be considered to be outside of the establishment, even though that's not true.
Mhm.
There are Pakistani people in the establishment. But
Right.
all right, let's see what disguise this lady. I'm guessing she's in a disguise.
I think it's a wig. I want to see this wig actually.
There she is.
You don't even know it's me. Hello. Okay.
That was a great Apollo 13 was
Ah,
a great film.
it's a great movie. I'm like, I love that wig. It's very Vidal Sassoon looking.
Mhm.
In a way, I'm just like so happy for her. Just
Bypass machines.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm going down. This is from the suprasternal notch to the.
And use a rib spreader.
That's right. That's right.
Mm. Hey,
It's behind the. It's behind the lung. Is it behind the lung?
I think so.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of like to the side, and then behind the lung you have to
Mm-hmm.
rib spreader. Maybe cut one incision, move it over a little bit. It's exposed, but then you need the bypass machine, right, to hook up. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I'm not sure. I've only seen where the heart is with respect to the lungs in an autopsy. She's a very. If this was somebody I was dating, that's some red flags in a way. But we don't have time for all that because we got this short series going on, so we gotta speed it up.
aha.
Right.
So it takes the bypass machine takes the place of the heart and the lungs, pumping blood and oxygenating the blood.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. I didn't know that. Cool.
Hmm.
Mm.
So they have to disconnect all the tubes and then reconnect everything. Wow, she's on his knee.
It's like, okay. These English women are very forward. Hmm. She's very forward. So, I don't know you like that. But she's asking for what she wants.
No, no, he's not average. Heart surgeons are not average. They're like the most unaverage person you know.
Hmm. I'm just a regular person. I'm just a regular person. Oh,
He's not a frog. He's kind of a
it's
catch.
far, far from it. He probably kind of feels like, why does this royal want to talk to me? And she's kind of just like, you can't have me on this pedestal. I just want to be seen as a regular person. It's like, I'm so happy. Hmm. I love his flowers. Hmm.
Amazing.
Mm. 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 Oh man, it's your neighbors got nicknames.
So she's not even talking to her.
Mm-mm.
They still consider her an outsider.
Mhm.
Wow. Kind of like what Margaret used to have.
This is true. She was very like she would take up the room when she would be there. Hmm. I'm going out.
Sure had those. Sure hope she had those breaks looked after.
That was scary.
Oh, she signaled somebody. She's really taking a chance going out without a bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like that she's doing this. They could at least tail her. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
want them in the same car.
From a distance away, you know. It's Martin Bashir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
This is such a betrayal.
Oh man.
This is such a betrayal for this man.
So it's like he pretty much did this just to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
And no one would think that you would forge a document like that. Mm.
He put fear in her unnecessarily.
Yeah. You need to ask your heart doctor friend what that means.
This is what this is about because he feels that he couldn't get his foot in the door in the BBC.
Hmm.
So he lied. I just,
It's such a. It almost reminds me of this one. I can't remember what his name is. This one like black journalist. He had like plagiarized so many articles, but he felt that he had to do it to prove something.
oh my gosh. That's a AC. Oh, no, no. Jude's Priest song? You got another thing coming?
Oh, I've heard that one before.
A thing coming, I think. But this is completely under false pretenses. She would have never done this. This is disgusting.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I was talking to you before we saw the episode, Lorraine, about how I couldn't believe they were even going to include this, and now I think I know why they included this was because of the manipulation. I'm just so shocked by this, and I didn't know, and I'm sure like the entire world knew, but I didn't know.
I mean, I didn't know either. But now this wasn't a, oh, let's interview you to get your side of the story. It was, I'm going to manipulate you into thinking that people you trust. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, it's
People that you trust
been a long day.
would
Okay.
betray you. And it's just like, I can't trust anybody. So I might as well tell you what my story. It's like a false sense of security. I wonder if her brother's going to ask Bashir, so what broadcast of mine did you like? I know this song.
Mhm. I never seen a girl like you before. Well, that is the end
Wow.
of episode 7. Um, and after 3 hours and 23 minutes, this is our longest watch party for The Crown. Lorena, this has been going in a direction that I didn't think it was going to go, and we are learning even more. We knew these people and who were involved, but the circumstances, and as we've said, this is a dramatization that's inspired by true
Mhm.
events, and we know
Right.
perhaps not every conversation took place.
Right.
Do know that there was this meeting with Bashir and Princess Diana, and in the article, we confirmed that there was forgery made on
Mhm.
behalf of Bashir, and now we got to see even more, perhaps even more of the details that may have been involved in this. Imagine
Mhm.
your trusted secretary, somebody incredibly close to you, being discredited in this way. Lorena, I can't even imagine how Diana must have felt when she got this news, which was false. What do you think?
Mhm. It was false. And but it's like she didn't, but she at that time it's like she didn't know. So it's shocking for us to watch knowing she's being manipulated. She has no clue. So it kind of like it ratchets up the drama for us because we know we're just like you're just being led by obviously this very narcissistic person who's like, I'm going to try to get your confidence. I'm the only person that you can trust. We're going to, this is for you. Help me to help you. And you see the manipulation going on. And it's just like she can hardly trust anybody. Just when it seems she can trust someone, turns out she can't trust that person. So it's heartbreaking to see. And like I hadn't watched the Bashir interview before. So yeah, this is it's a train wreck that you see is going to happen. And once she realizes that she's been manipulated, it's not going to end well.
It isn't, and it is Princess Diana as well as her brother, who's the Earl
Mhm.
of, I can't remember what it is, but he's an Earl, and
Mhm.
he also is being manipulated. Where Bashir presented, or someone, let's say, that's who wanted to involve her in this, presented these documents that were falsified, and they showed that in the drama. They showed,
Mhm. They showed just how they did it.
so we know. I mean, we all have. You go into Word, and he put like a header to make it seem like an official
Mhm.
statement. Another person who did stuff like that was Bernie Madoff. Forged a lot of those statements that he gave to people saying that they had certain balances, when in actuality they didn't have those. That's
Wow.
how Ponzi scheme was perpetuated. But we also had that famous Anis Horribilis episode, after the Queen trying to deal with essentially the marriages of her children breaking and kind of
Mhm.
being not persisting, so to speak. Um,
Mhm.
and then that very unusual situation where the prince and the recordings he made, was not recordings, the phone calls he made with
Mhm.
people were exposed. And so you and I were talking about how, that was kind of happening at that time and people were figuring out things. This is not related to the story and I'm not going to keep you here much longer, but I remember there was some incident at, I think it was at another mail or a newspaper organization where there was a girl who was missing. And the girl, I guess apparently they believe she still had her cell phone on her because even though she was missing, somehow
Mhm.
messages on her phone were being retrieved. And it turns out
Right.
that she was not retrieving the messages. It was like a news organization that was pulling the messages from her phone. And the parents believed that she was still alive because the messages were being pulled. And
Mhm.
it was quite a tragic tale. And it kind of ended up in people having to answer for what happened. So that was something where we knew people could log into other people's phones and kind of get their messages and things and essentially listen. Once you're in the phone, you can listen to everything practically in the
Right.
the second thing
Right.
was, and I'm sure you remember this one. There was a man or a businessman or couple, whatever. They communicated by their cell phone in text messages, and every text message they did, they deleted it. And so when the courts came, they said we're going to have to read those text messages. This is important to the case. The guy says, "I'm sorry, but they're gone. They're gone forever." And I don't know whether it was Apple or one at AT&T, and they said, "Oh no, 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 no. We can retrieve those text messages." And they retrieved every single message that the person swore they didn't send. And that's
Mhm.
when we knew. That's when we all knew that whatever you put on here, whatever you share, is not private. It's not your own.
Nope.
Anyone can retrieve it. So you better be careful. Certain rules you put into play. Be careful what you put on these things, what you put in emails. Just have a
Mhm.
tone with everything. Do not go ahead and put stuff in there that you don't want anyone to read because it is retrievable. And I'll never forget
Mhm.
that guy. He was confident. It's gone. Yeah, I don't have that. It's gone. It's gone forever. Sure enough, they got all like 150 of these damn.
Mhm. They pull them back.
So we're starting to see things like this where, there people were getting information compromised. There wasn't anything in place to safeguard a phone call or to safeguard a message.
No.
None of that stuff existed. And even now it's pretty sketchy. Remember for a few years, a lot of these stars had their phones hacked. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
Jennifer Aniston's phone is hacked, or the girl from Twilight's phone was hacked. It seemed like every
Mhm.
celebrity's phone was hacked. To me, I'm like, clearly it's where you bought the phone from. That's why your phone is getting hacked. It's not a secure thing. But
Right.
we were just kind of starting to see things like this. But this
Mhm.
manipulation by Bashir really threw me, even at a point where it looks like she's kind of enjoying herself with this doctor who's amazing. Um, it just, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Mm. It really is.
We have 3 more episodes, Lorena, for our next watch party, which I just, we can do this so we can finish this. I can't believe how great it's been so far.
It's been great, and there's the one thing that I wanted to show really,
Yes.
really, really quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm a genealogy nut, this was driving me nuts, so I had to look it up. And this was basically why
Oh,
they wanted Prince Philip's DNA.
yes.
They were talking about mitochondrial DNA, and that's why I was like, well, what was a tree like if the if Nicholas Romanov had written to his cousin George V, why was he writing to him? And George V obviously was an ancestor of Queen Elizabeth. So I'm like, well, why are they looking to go to Philip? I'm like, okay. So apparently, here is the family tree. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit to, okay, where'd my, see, there they are. There's Queen Elizabeth
Oh.
and Philip,
Yes.
Edinburgh. They are actually distant cousins. Now, this is not unheard of if you have a certain population, I'll say that intermarry. It happens a lot in Cape Cod families, Plymouth families, Quebec, like I'd mentioned before, Quebec, France, same thing. Sorry, Quebec,
Upper class families.
upper families, rural families, just small areas. It happens a lot in island nations too. Like
Yes.
my
Oh, yeah.
parents are distant cousins several times over because of those particular populations and how, they intermarried and the kids and the cousins married cousins and all of that. So I'm like, okay, what does that tree look like? So over here you have Tsar Nicholas of Russia. So that's Tsar Nicholas. Over here you have Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. So their kids, Edward the 7th, and I believe Princess Alice. So
Mhm.
that's their children. So of course George V, George VI, and then you have Queen Elizabeth down here. So here's Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Well, it turns out that Princess Alice, who's the brother of Edward the 7th, her daughter with let's say Louis the 4th, Grand Duke of Hesse, which I believe that's German. I think it's German. Princess Victoria of Hesse. Now, apparently, Princess Victoria and Alexander Fedorovna, I guess Alexander, who married Tsar Nicholas II. So these are the Romanovs right here. So Alexandria and Victoria were sisters.
Mhm.
Princess Alice of Battenberg down to Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. So this is the mitochondrial DNA that they had to follow to verify that, unfortunately, that those remains that they found were indeed from the Romanov family, because Prince Philip's great aunt was Romanov. And
Exactly.
that's how they got solved. So that was racking my brain. I'm like, which one is it? Because they didn't, we knew about Princess Alice. We knew kind of like about her descent. The we knew that Prince Philip, that his family was German. They were Battenbergs, but changed to Mountbatten. So we knew that, but we didn't do anything really about the connection to Russia. And I forgot. I was like, all these royal families are all inbred in there. So I just found this fascinating that because of Prince Philip's DNA, they actually solved and could identify the remains of the Romanovs. So I
Yeah.
just thought that was fascinating. I'm like, I have to see this tree because how the heck does this work? So, like I said, you can obviously see right here how Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth are actually related through Queen Victoria's children.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up.
So you're welcome.
And this would be another example of where when you have you do the family tree and you find out that you and your spouse have the same ancestors.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts.
Yes. So and obviously it's the case here, and they were able to find it out. I thought at first it was because it was that woman who claimed to be Anastasia. You remember the lady?
Yeah, I remember that.
But apparently it wasn't her. And later on, to kind of answer that part, the woman who claimed to be Anastasia, they tested some of her DNA because she had died before they did DNA testing, but it turned out that there
Mhm.
was uh, a sample they took from her when she was in the hospital. I still think that that type of a sample would
Mhm.
have some compromised parts with the DNA, but they were like, there's no way she could be related to them at all.
Mhm.
So she wasn't one of the family or one of those groups. I don't know how many mitochondrial groups they have, but she wasn't one of them.
Yeah, she just wasn't a DNA match because
Yeah.
there's two ways that they would be able to verify it if they had autosomal DNA that matches, and then the maternal DNA that would match up.
And then,
So,
of course, consequently, after that, they were able to test the DNA of the remains
yes.
that we saw in the episode. So that put that to rest. And it needed to be put to rest because it was a question that people had been asking for a very long time. And also the
Mhm.
controversy surrounding whether or not they were, let's say, invited to come to England or not, so to speak. So
Mhm.
there's a difference of opinion on the matter, but the Crown, says, gave a very firm answer, as the Queen did there, um, with her relative, ironically, who um, was talking about it since it was a topic that was coming up and since they went to Russia. But
Mhm.
certainly very informative episodes. Yes, quite a bit of them dealt with Diana and what she's going through. And I guess we know that in the next episode, there's going to be that interview, Lorena.
I can't wait. It's like I can't wait for this with trepidation because I know it's not gonna go well.
It's not. And, I can't wait to do the next 3 episodes. But I just wanted to thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
you're
me
welcome.
for this watch
Welcome.
party. We are both exhausted, but but it's okay. We're here enjoying this, and
Mhm.
thank you for joining me to do this. And Lorena, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter causing all kinds of mischief. You can find me on Instagram. And of course, you can find me on YouTube with various live streams and videos. Of course, live streams and videos that I also do with as well. So that's where you can find me.
Guys, you can find
What's
me
up?
here at Positive Fandom. You can find me on Lorena's channel as well. You can also find me on the 1/6 Scale Man Network, sometimes on Midnight's Edge. And Lorena and I also stream on her channel for our Toxic Male Appreciation Show and other things that we do as well. And
Hmm.
also on the Post Geek Singularity, we're going to be there on Monday for our Ladies of the PGS show at 6 p.m. So do check us out there. For everybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in. And for everyone out there, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Take care, everybody.
Bye.